This is fucked up.
I'm assuming by this point, Simone and you two are probably pulling Rich back up. Or
Yeah.
just, you can hear them fighting downstairs, and he goes, yeah, and that's the result.
Kev stands up.
I'm not saying he's not fucked up. I'm just saying, like, his ability doesn't make you feel bad about blowing up. Obviously, because, otherwise it would be a shit ability to use. But yeah, I can't imagine having that many hits in such a small amount of time. That's got to be mind-numbing.
She's covering her mouth and just like her eyes are just kind of like twitching.
Kev brushes his hands, claps his hands to get the dust off. Sounds like you have a problem with what we did, the Red Moon Massacre. I know not the best name brand-wise, but I like it.
No problem. Wars are just messy business. Very messy business.
What Jeff said before and repeated a million times to the point where I'm sick of it. The things that we did during the war, the scars that we carry, people we killed. We did it all for the moon. We did it for the people up here. We did it for the families who didn't want to be turned into part of a war machine. We did it for the free people, the dreamers, all the nice, cozy people. Some of you right here and right now. If it weren't for that day, you'd likely be serving. You'd be enlisted. And if you're stand users, you'd be enlisted or you'd be dead, likely. I know it's not soft and fluffy. It's not cozy or comfortable, but we tried to keep the casualties to a minimum on both sides. Seven Nation Army included. We're not monsters. We made precise strikes when we could. And though Rich may be a completely burned out junkie maniac right now, back then, he was a tactical soldier. The explosions that he personally engaged in weren't just against people. They were against machines. They were against shipments. They were against all sorts of placements that kept the Seven Nation Army from making a very strong foothold up here on the moon. So I only ask that, I know he's a messed up, masochistic wreck of a human being right now, but he got that way to keep the moon free and independent. He's a veteran, as are we all on the ELO. So cut him a little slack and let him drink the rubbing alcohol if he really wants to drink the rubbing alcohol.
I mean, he should at least cut it with something. I feel like we have to have juice in this house.
Oh, yeah, that's probably right. He loves a good screwdriver.
One of the U2s is in the kitchen looking for, like, Kool-Aid packets, anything.
You can mix up the most bootleg, gross jailhouse cocktail you can with some drink packets.
You probably make a batch of, like, Kool-Aid and then probably adds, like, the smallest amount of rubbing alcohol to it.
Ugh. Yeah, I mean, are you going to put it on ice at least?
Yeah, I guess I'll grab some ice out of the
thank
freezer
God.
and pour it into the glass. Yeah,
Give it-
just be like, here, Rich.
Yeah, it's going to drink it.
It ain't much, but it's something.
All right, getting it started. It's a good way to kick off. Thanks, pal. Whew. Starting to get the shakes. Kev sees you give the drink to Rich and just kind of nods his head. Let me ask you guys a question. If there was another war, theoretically, what would you do?
Stay out of it.
Sure. And you? He points at Marisol.
I have avoided being involved in a war this far, so same.
Points at you two, or one of the you twos. What about you?
I feel like we've already done our part to stop one war from happening, so I would keep trying to avoid it and find another way to get about there.
Points at Simone. You?
That depends on if it's inevitable.
Say it is.
Then I'll fight to protect what I really want.
He points at Nia finally. What about you?
Not leave my friends in trouble.
There was a time in my life where I thought I would avoid war as well. Doesn't exactly suit me, believe it or not. I didn't even want to become a cop, much less a soldier. I
What?
just want,
What did you want to become?
well, I don't know, astrophysicist. What's with the silence?
No, just
Makes sense.
Honestly, shock.
Well, your little man does do calculations and stuff.
That's right, very accurate. You could have also been probably a good surveyor, maybe an archaeologist or, architect or, I could have done a lot of things. Being a cop, being a soldier, none of that wasn't really what I was interested in as a life path. But when the time came and the Seven Nation Army came knocking at our door, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared shitless, out of my mind. I mean, I was a Hellraiser, sure, but an army, a Seven Nation Army at that time, keep in mind, technically owned the moon. We were sort of sovereign, independent, but not really. I was really looking down the barrel of a whole army. And then this man, he points at Jeff, and he just put his hand on my shoulder and said, just go forward, keep pushing. You don't get to a dream by standing still or retreating. You just keep moving ahead. Even if it's through an army, you got to do it. So, I mean, first of all, I said, get out of here with that fortune cookie shit. And second of all, I said, all right, let's do this. So, when the time comes, if there is a war, just remember, you may want to stay out of it. You may not want to be a murderer like you think soldiers are. You may think that it's convenient or safe not to fight. But when push comes to shove, you may find yourself in a similar situation as we were put into that day. That makes any sense. I'm not like a motivational speaker. I mostly just arrest people.
Actually, it was quite good, Kevin.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah.
Good.
How well would you say you know Jeff? You guys obviously fought together.
Pretty well. We practically grew up together, actually. Jeff used to be some sort of little snot, crybaby. Used to get bullied all the time. It's true. After his parents died, a lot of people made fun of him. He's just some kind of rich little shit. People just kept calling him spoiled, yada, yada, yada. Push him around. The other families, the rich ones, really gave him a lot of crap. And he didn't really have anyone. You know, Lynn's, they just, well, he probably told you. They just were in it for the money. He didn't have a brother then, really. I mean, he did, but this is just a baby. So I saw him out there getting bullied one day, and then I beat the living shit out of those bullies. Because that's what I like to use. I used to do that a lot. I used to like to fight a lot.
You're the best, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you. I think I'm pretty good. But anyway, after that, friends for life. Jeff was like a changed person after that experience. I think it's like I don't know, something was dead inside of him, and then it just kicked back to life. He started talking all about dreams and hopes and paths and whatever optimistic stuff, I guess. We even fought over the same woman. I won, so.
Hey, I'd ask him this myself, but he obviously can't answer right now. If he's gonna be going for that throne of heaven, would he just care about the moon then? Or he obviously, through his actions, has shown that he's not a bully, but she's looking at Nia. He sort of is, but at the same time, he seems to be thinking that if he's strong, he should use that strength to protect other people. Does that only go as far as the moon?
Well, I won't lie to you. I mean, I don't really like Earth people either, for the most part. No offense. Us up here on the moon have been trying to just keep things moving forward, according to ELO's vision, while people on the Earth constantly scrape and try to make war, you know. But part of Jeff's vision with the ELO has always been, to a certain point, when the technology gets good enough and there's really no saying no on Seven Nation Army's part to try to provide aid in any way that he could, short of course, providing them with any of Lewis's machines, because that would be a nightmare. He isn't heartless. He knows that the Earth suffers too. It's just that anything you give to the Seven Nation Army, give them a scrap of metal and they turn it into a gun. They're pretty vicious.
There's like sort of a gleam in Marisol's eye. Yeah, they are. They're definitely a block. I think I've heard enough for now.
Great, because I don't usually talk this much, so I feel awkward.
No, thanks, Kevan. I guess I was a little shy about asking him myself, but it's good to hear from someone that knows him.
There's something else I've been meaning to bring up.
What?
Lewis mentioned something to me. I wasn't sure how to feel.
Lewis kind of like looks away and rubs his nose.
He said that Kesha had died at some point.
Mia starts to walk away.
The you twos all share a look, and one of them goes over towards Rich, and the others just kind of find different directions to look.
You want the honest answer on that?
Judging by your reactions, I'm guessing that wasn't incorrect. But she's clearly alive.
Yeah, about that. When
Here's the thing.
Oh, do you want to tell him?
When we faced Germanata kind of chopped her up into little pieces, and then we fixed that. But if you look closely, she has marks, I think, still.
First of all, I know I can be a little callous, but you really have to describe my daughter being chopped up into little pieces.
That
Listen.
very delicate at all, Simone.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
what do you want?
apologies, but
What do you? How else do you describe being
it was
done?
it was bad.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I told her it's fine.
Yeah, and Yuchi just kind of stares and just goes, I don't know how else to describe it, but there was a timeline where she died, but when we were fighting Germanetta, we were able to follow the cut back in time and we moved her out of the way of it. Does that make sense? I know that
Yep.
sounds ridiculous, but
No,
we stopped.
it all makes sense. I told you I was interested in astrophysics. It's not that different.
Okay. Yeah, and as
yeah.
you can see in the original U2 kind of like holds up like I guess his arm. I don't know where his like scars are from the fight. And he goes, "We also have the scars from where she kind of diced us." But yeah, it's just kind of a lingering thing.
Look. I know how I am, everyone. I know at times I can be overbearing, to say the least. And I didn't bring it up to accuse anybody of anything or ask for excuses or rationale or anything like that. What I wanted to say was thank you for saving my little girl's life. It really, really means a lot to me, actually. So much so that I've decided. And nobody, please stop me from doing this. I'm going to expunge your criminal records when we get back.
Woohoo!
You're welcome.
I didn't even know I had one.
It's very extensive.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure we all do. We've at least me and Marisol have gotten arrested. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got a large one.
I was going to arrest Jim as soon as we got back, but I just can't bring myself to do it, I guess.
Thank you.
You're welcome, but you're still a
Thanks.
criminal, but you're welcome.
yeah, thanks, Kev. That means a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. That's gonna go a long way with me, if I'm honest.
I've also decided I will expunge Miss B's record as well. She was partially responsible for saving my little girl.
Woo!
That's awesome. She'll really appreciate that.
Good. But don't let this be a blank check to break the law. Just because I'm expunging your records right now doesn't mean that I won't arrest you for any criminal activity.
Right.
No,
Didn't plan on it.
Yeah,
Fact.
I kind of understood that it was a second chance.
He reaches behind his back and takes out a very crude pair of handcuffs.
I've been working on how this stand works. And look what I can make now.
Handcuffs?
Nice.
Yeah, they're very crude. They're a little busted looking.
Marisol does not look amused.
So no one break the law, because now I'm always ready. Or at least, well, I guess when this is over, I won't have this stand anymore. It's so useful.
You liking Jim's stand?
Yes, very much. I can turn any piece of silverware into handcuffs. It is amazing.
Glad you're enjoying it, buddy.
More than enjoying it, it's meant to be. I got the little, Knight Rider's cool, but
He just kind of mumbles to himself.
Oh, and you called him ugly. Now you love him.
no, he's still very
I was-
ugly.
Because he can still be ugly but lovable.
It's kind of ugly, but okay. Like, I don't want to beat him up, sort of like most of you. Like, it's just tolerate it, because you do useful stuff, like save my daughter.
Oh, come on. I'm totally
Okay.
cute.
Nah, you're not cute. You're not even a little bit. You're not cute at all.
Yes, I am.
Nia, don't force this.
Uh,
He's expunging our records.
Please
Okay.
don't.
And yours is extensive? Was the
No,
word he used?
I don't believe him. I
Several
haven't done that much
pages.
stuff.
Just accept this.
There's actually a pending some kind of order about assault on the elderly. I don't really
Oh,
understand
no.
that one.
Okay, that one's real.
Wow.
He had a gun, though. He had a gun pointed at me. It's not my fault.
That can be explained.
I'm sure it can in a court of law, but it won't be explained in a court of law because I'm expunging it. Although, really, an old man.
No, he had a
Wow.
gun.
No, I'm sure.
Y-
Sure he
no, he did.
Sure he did.
He pulled it out on us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
And then he gives the biggest, most obvious wink.
Wink.
It's all for no reason, Kev.
Sure.
Oh,
Don't think we're getting out of this one.
always good things to save people.